going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna invite James. Tonight we're talking with James Xaya. I believe I pronounced that right. We're gonna confirm that in a sec. James, what's going on, man?
What up? What's good, buddy?
How you doing?
I'm
So
great.
quick intro to James while we have people pile in here. James is from Orem, Utah. Or
Yeah,
sorry, not from. Living in Orem, Utah.
yeah,
James is the owner and founder of Minor Details Barbershop in Orem.
yes,
And
sir.
most recently, the founder of the hair care product Pump Powder, hair care brand Pump Powder. James, thank you for taking the time to be with me here tonight. I had connected with James last week, but I had been seeing his, hello, Beat Barber, how are you? I had been seeing his page for about a month or two, just watching, and I was really admiring his content, and more specifically, James has a very, like, I guess, ecstatic personality, and he really markets the shit out of this product. He is constantly on his page, using his personal brand, using his clients, everything, just getting himself out there, and like by the will or the way, just making this thing a reality. I remember one behind the scenes type post where you were rolling labels onto the pump powder bottles in a wooden box. You're like, I really do this. And I just love that, man. The DIY of it all, like the behind the scenes you don't really see. It was awesome to see.
Yeah,
And I just thought you had a ton of great stuff to share, a ton of great knowledge, and teachers classes as well. I've seen you doing a ton of them. You just got
mhm.
off the class earlier, correct?
Yeah. Went and judged a little barber battle. It was cool, man. There's too much talent right now, bro. I wasn't cut like that in school, bro. These kids are like savages, bro.
Right out of school.
Yeah, right out of school, savages.
It's just getting, there's so many good people, and like getting to the top is, they were talking about this earlier in the barber verses, and it was
Yeah,
like there's so much talent. Um, but let's get into how you got into barbering. So a little background, just kind of paint that picture.
yeah. So I mean, just as a kid, my cousin was actually the one that was cutting our hair, right? And we could just save a little bit of money, So if you want to stretch that $20, well, every 2 weeks you can save an extra. Back then it was like $8 to $10 for a haircut. Manifesto, what up? And so that's what we did. My cousin was cutting our hair, and then it got to a point where he got tired of working on his days off, cutting hair. And so then I decided, like, yo, let me try it. And I was butchering everybody, bro, like destroying people. But I thought it was hilarious, right? And they kept letting me do it, so I'm like, all right, let's go, And then after a while, like, I got a little bit better, and it got kind of fun, man. It got kind of fun, and I realized at like 15, 16, I'm like, man, I kind of really like this haircutting thing. So it took me a little while. I didn't start barber school till I was 21 or 22, so I started a little bit late, but we got it done.
And you had some pushback there, right? I mean, barbering, you
Yeah,
wanted to go into it, but you had some pushback within there.
yeah. So it was actually my pops, right? So being Asian, it's very like super traditional. Like I have to know how to do math. I have to be good at school, you know. So his whole logic was like, okay, well, you get to be a doctor or a lawyer, right? And I'm like, oh, really? Huh? That easy, huh? Because I really want to cut hair, you know what I mean? And there was this whole backlash about like, my dad's kind of old school. He's kind of, macho old man, and he's like, oh, like that's a woman's job. Men don't cut hair, like how are you gonna work in a salon? Which that's not true. That's not true, first of all. And I mean, his main concern was really, I think, that financially he didn't think that I could support myself or support a family. You know what I'm saying? Cutting hair. And at the time, I don't know if he was that wrong, but how things have changed. You know what I'm saying? Things are real different now, and it's good. Business is good, our industry is booming, and I think it's awesome to be a part of it, and to be a part of people's um, growth.
Most definitely, man. And we're going through like a renaissance, a real generational change.
Yeah,
Um, I guess a lot of it starts with like this trend men's grooming and male grooming, where it's so much more experience based, and like your barber is much more than just a haircut, just going in, $20 in, out,
Yeah.
whatever, and that's kind of phasing out a little bit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so what were some of the early inspirations of Pump Powder? Had you always wanted to start a hair care brand? Was that on your radar at all?
Yeah. So it's crazy. Guys who've been in the industry long enough. Well, Kellogg's, I see you, boy. What up? Um, I loved Elegance, the Elegance brand. I loved everything they were doing because they was like, they were young, they were modern. You know, like to me, I was like, man, that brand is hot. Like that brand is hot. If I could make a brand be that cool to where like internationally barbers are like fighting, competing to be like, dude, I want to be the next Elegance barber, right? Like I remember there's a point where like, okay, I did tell you this in our little pre-interview, okay, but I was on that train. I'm like, yo, I want to be an Elegance barber. So I'm tagging them. I'm using their products. I'm posting them. Bro, they actually followed me. Like Elegance followed me, and they were liking my posts, bro. And then your boy, you know, got in over his head, and I got real stressed out. Said a couple crazy things online. They stopped following me. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. But
Hey
hey, it
man, you live, you
happens.
learn.
It happens. We still here. You know, we still here. Um, but yeah, so a big basis of like when I started minor details, right? I was trying to think, and look, no disrespect to nobody who names their shop after themselves. That's no disrespect. It's just dope, right? But at the time, as an outsider looking in, I'm like, what is it? What is it about Elegance that like I don't just like, but I love, right? Like I love their culture. I love their grit. I love like just their personalities. Like I felt like they were always being themselves, you know, and they expressed themselves through their work. And not only that, I'm like, who the hell owns Elegance, bro? I still don't know. I still don't know who owns it. I never bothered to look it up, right? Because I just love the brand, right? And then it clicked in my brain. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. They're not building a barbershop, they're building a brand. And that's why their products work, you know? Like, you know, Bob's Barbershop hair gel doesn't sound as cool as Elegance, you know, BB5 hair gel with blah, blah, blah products in it. You know what I mean? It doesn't sell the same. So I kind of realized, um, not about just having a strong name, having a brandable name. Like, does it look good on product? Does it look good on a shirt? What about a hat? Is anybody outside of your inner circle and your mom gonna buy your merchandise? You know what I mean? Like, you know, Bob's gel, for example. I mean, yeah, your family or close friends are gonna buy it, but would they wear it out? Would they rock it? Would they? Is it dope? Would they tag you in it? Are they proud to be a part of the culture and the brand? Like, that's something that took a lot of hard thinking, and that's when you know, I came up with minor details, and I feel like it's a subtle name, but it holds a lot of merit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's a phenomenal point. And you're right. It's not good or bad. You know,
Mhm.
Bob's hair gel, Bob's
Of course.
barbershop. That's Bob, and that's what
Yeah.
he's doing. But what you were doing with elegance is really like critically analyzing like why you attach yourself to the brand that way. And a lot of people don't do that. You know, we consume things and we're like, this resonates well with me. I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna like their pictures. But you sitting there, you sitting there and actually asking yourself,
Yeah.
what's the reason it's happening? Like, what is the psychology behind that? I think
Right.
is really interesting, and absolutely creating a brand that's brandable. And there's so much around like hype culture right now,
Hmm.
um, that it's definitely necessary, and it's also tough at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, so those are a couple of really good points. And you were like the initiation of Pump Powder as a product. What did that process look like as far as problem identification and stuff?
Okay. So on to the pump powder story. All right. So I started pump powder honestly. It was almost actually not almost. It was practically out of desperation, right? Because when COVID hit, that hurt, bro. That hurt my business bad. Like we shut down for like 5 weeks, and our location is any successful businessman. If they came and saw where our business was actually in, immediately they'd be like, "How the hell did you get any clients in here? Like, are you guys busy? how long have you been here? They start asking those questions because it is not a great location, but it's all I could afford, you know, when I started the shop. So, um, but because of that, it taught me how to network and market very hard through social media, through peer-to-peer contact. It not only taught me, but it forced me to learn how to talk to people. My customer service skills have gone through the roof compared to when I started, right? I can engage in conversation from anyone to a child to a high-level businessman, and I can keep their attention, you know? And if you can do that, the rest is history. You know what I mean? Um, now, so I'm just saying that because business was still very hard for me, right? I was still working a lot of hours just to make sure the lights were on and stuff. And I was 3 years into it, bro. It was to a point where it's just like, dude, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? I just can't get out of this stupid basement, right? And so when COVID happened, I'm like, dang, I got down to just, we'll say the bare minimum to get by for the next month or two, like literally the bare minimum. And I said, damn, this is what they're talking about when they say don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? And then I was like, man, I always wanted to start a product, but what am I gonna do? Like a gel, like a pomade or something like that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but like I think I'm pretty dope at cutting hair, but I don't have enough clout to make someone else like elegance is already out there. How am I gonna tell you not to use elegance and use my stuff instead, right? James ain't cool enough, and I know that, you know. Minor details ain't cool enough, and I know that. So I'm like, yo, I gotta get something that's practically revolutionary, right? That like, has anybody ever seen it? Possibly, maybe it's already out there. But have a majority of my peers and my professional contacts seen anything like that? And I started thinking about it. And it's funny because one of the first brands I thought of was Elegance. I was like, Elegance have this? Elegance have this idea? So I started using texture powder just a few months prior to the shutdown, right? I was still training myself, but I hated how you had to sprinkle it. I just hated it. Like I'm cutting all day, bro. You're doing this all day. Your elbows like on fire. Your shoulders on fire. I'm trying to sprinkle the bottle. It like gets packed on itself. You know, it gets packed on itself. I think the bottles they have now, they've adjusted the holes so it doesn't do that as often. But I remember initially they had like the little salt shaker holes, right? You get frustrated. You squeeze that bad boy, pop is topping, pop is popping, pop is popping, and it's just texture powder. And you know how it gets, bro. It's like gritty, dry, and
Yeah,
when there's like your whole head full of it,
concrete.
bro, that's a hard explanation to your client of what just happened, right? Because they look like they came off a set of Al Pacino. You know what I
Like
mean?
a
You
little
know?
go like
Yeah, yeah. So I had mentioned during the, just my frustration. I was like, damn, man. I wish they had like a spray bottle and I could just spray this like I spray water, right? And a week or two later, my shop manager, she brings in this like female root lift bottle, right? And I said, what is it? She said, oh, it's kind of like a texture powder. I mean, it's like a root lift for women's hair. And I mentioned, I was like, oh, but I'm a dude, right? Like that matters. Like I can't use a woman's shampoo. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I don't know what I was thinking, but she goes, just try it. And I squirted it, and I just saw the little poof, right. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of different. But it still didn't click. And so I'm trying this other recipe, which I really like. But what I didn't like is it held well, but it was water soluble. So ours isn't water soluble, right? So if you get it wet, if you sweat, your hair will fall, right? Bruh, I could run 20 miles with pump powder and that bad boy ain't going nowhere because it's not water soluble. It deflects water, right? And um, as I'm using the initial product, as I'm using it, I start noticing like my client, all the clients around us, as soon as I would spray it, you would just hear them going, hey, yo, what is he using? What is that? What is that? What is that? Every single time, right? And trying to sell a product, the hardest part is engagement, right? The hardest part is how does this benefit your life? And you got to go through this is what it does, this is what it's made from, this is how what it's going to do to your hair, this is how long it lasts. And I noticed that the whole pumping effect got their attention so quick because it looks like it's smoke. It looks like, bro, like you WWE, The Rock just walked in, right? Smoking. Like it just looks sick. The videos, it looks sick. You apply it, it looks sick. And I realized, I'm like, yo, that's a real attention grabber. I don't have to sell this to them, right? So after, I think another I was about 3 months into working with the texture powder. Um, then I got that idea and I said, okay, I think I'm gonna run with it. I'm gonna run with it and I'll see how far I can get, right? Because I'm trying to think, does anybody have this? At the time, I couldn't think of one person besides that bottle that we found, from just a local beauty supply store. Um, but I didn't like the recipe, so I spent a few months finding a recipe that I liked, and I put the two together, and it was scary, bro. Because to me, I'm like, yo, this is my $1 million idea. I've had a lot of $1 million ideas that didn't work out, right?
Oh yeah.
But now as I would say a little bit older, more mature man, that I'm not saying I thought a lot more about it, but I thought a little more about it. And I'm like, man, this really could hit. This is really new. It's I think I can sell this. I think I can make the move. I think our industry can benefit from it. I think I can get it to a price point where everybody wins. Customers are happy. The people selling it are happy because it's way too easy to sell, right? And bro, when I say I took all my money, I took all my money, and I'm like, okay, boom, I got enough for 400 bottles. I'm on freaking Instagram Live because like it's coming in. I'm just waiting on my labels. I'm super excited, right? And I remember I make the announcement, and I got people on my live, and halfway through the conversation, I realized I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a name, right? So I'm sitting here talking, going, yeah, dude. So like, I've been making this product. That's why I've been kind of quiet. I haven't really told anybody about it. And I freeze, right? And my mind goes, you idiot. You didn't even name it. What is it named? It has no name. There's no name, right? And I grab it and I just go, pump powder, powder in a pump, right? It was so, anybody who saw that, bro, it was the most awkward, like stupid. And then I ended the lives. I was so embarrassed. I was like, okay, guys, well, yeah, that's it. I got to go. And I shut the camera off. I'm just like, stupid, 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 right? Pump powder of all the stupid names. That's what you thought of, right? You thought of freaking pump powder, bro. Like, wow, that's so original. But look where we're at, bro. It's insane, bro. Yeah.
So many gems in there. Um, so you talked about the hardest part being educating the consumer.
Yeah.
And like people spend thousands of dollars just based off of illustrating the benefits of this product. What does it do for you? Like how can you get them to understand that? And I've
Yeah.
had to go through that on my own, but like
Yeah.
the fact that you had this, it has its function, but the other part was the appearance. And it's just like you say in the video, take one pump and it's like surrounding, and like the cinematic effects with
Yeah.
that are endless. And you talk about like, so there's hair care products, there's tons of them, but you talk about texturizing powder. It's something that's like, it's still kind of new, and
Yeah.
it's in the barbering industry, it's still very new, and it's
Yeah.
almost become like this very novelty. And you're right, it's very tough to get an even application of that product. So
Yeah.
I applaud you for that, man. That is phenomenal. And you talked about like the $1 million idea and following through on that. What's up, Brennan? What's going on, man? So many people have these ideas, and I'm sure you get people that are like, oh, I had that idea. Like, you got it first. Ideas are one thing, but following through on them are a whole other.
Yeah.
So the fact that and you took that risk, and you really took that risk, and putting your all into it, essentially. And it's tough that time you're spending like in the dark, because
Yeah.
you're working on this thing, and you're so excited to reveal it, but then it's terrifying, because then you're taking this thing and you're showing it to the world, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's a crazy feeling.
Dude, look, I promise you, when that was all going, this is how like, when you say terrified, okay, you know how much anxiety people get when they're on Shark Tank. Bro, these are all my peers, bro. These are all the people that like people I look up to, people in the community, and I'm just like, yo, man, I kind of got this idea, right? And I'm like, ta-da, and I'm waiting for the
Yeah.
reaction, right? And dude, the first few months, like, okay, in the beginning, I actually sold like 8 or 9 bottles. Didn't even have a label because people wanted it so bad, right? But what I didn't anticipate was the learning curve. So I've been quietly teaching myself how to use it. So when people ask questions, it's not just, oh, I just, just spray it on. Like, wiggle your fingers, right? I have to have enough to educate. So it's like, okay, well, if this is the issue you have, try this, try that. But oh, it works, it works. I got hyper focused on just like selling product, pushing product. It worked. We blew through the first 400 units, like, I think maybe like week 3, which to me, I was like, oh my God, the wheels are turning, right? Bro, I sold, okay, I get another batch 400. I sold, bro, like 10 bottles in the next 2 months. I'm panicking. I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? But what I realized is I wasn't educating enough. So I didn't tell people that, hey, it's a texture powder. But if you don't texture the hair, there's no texture for the powder to pull out, right? Like, um, the fact that it's not water soluble, I didn't realize that until like the 4th or 5th month into selling it. And one of my clients goes, dude, this stuff just does not come out. I go, what do you mean? He goes, dude, I shower and it's like it's still in my hair. And me being a doofus, I'm like, bro, I got the same problem. And then I real like, and then I realized, I go, wait a minute, is that a problem? And then the more I thought about it, like, no, that's a benefit, bro. That's a benefit. You know what I mean? Like when that tiny little bottle, bro, there's clients I have that buy that little bottle we have. It lasts them a month and a half, 2 months, bro. And prior to that, I was like, oh my God, it's too expensive, but I'm not getting it at a low enough price because if they're using it every day, then they're blowing through it in like a week and a half, right? Using it every week and a half, it's gone. But you're not supposed to use it every day. And I learned that by accident through one of my clients. Though I had realized there was an issue weeks, maybe a month prior, but it didn't register. And now that's the best selling point. We're like, okay, think about moms, right? So families are kind of big out here. It's very normal for a family to have like 5, 6 kids, right? In Utah, making babies is just what we do, I guess. I don't know. People love making babies. People love making babies out here. Joey Frenchie, what's good, man? Um, so, bro, when you got 5 or 6 kids, the last thing you want to do is, man, I gotta style all their hair in the morning, blah blah blah. Bro, this product, I'm like, okay, let me put 2 and 2 together. This stuff lasts forever. You can shower with it as long as you don't shampoo and condition. It's still in your hair. So for a little kid that's got like football practice, softball practice, he's got to go to school, right? Like, dude, he will look good for days, for days. You know how beneficial it is to a mom to save like an hour every morning to get some sleep, extra sleep, because she did her kid's hair 2 days ago and she knows it still looks good after he showers. That's crazy, bro. There's like, and instead of looking at what I assumed were the negatives, I started studying what I thought was negative. Say, okay, well, on the surface, it seems negative, but let me do some more research and see if I can adjust people's perception of what is negative and what is positive, right? And it's actually everything I didn't like about it. It's too small, right? It might be too expensive. It lasts way too long, bro. Those are the biggest selling points now. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just crazy how things. It's crazy how things change, man.
Oh yeah, man. And you took, like you said, you took something that you didn't even know and could have been framed as a negative, but just like that, based on perception, you can flip that around and turn that into positive. And you mentioned this education process. I know you do a ton of education classes as far as haircutting goes. So was that something you were doing like previously? Is that something you picked back up because of pump powder?
Yeah. So I was doing classes before. Whenever anybody asked me to, whenever if I had free time, if I had sometimes I'll have like a student that like that just really admires my work and they reach out like, hey, would you be willing to come do a class? Like I'd love to, see you work in person, like I think that'd be really cool. And I always try to go out of my way to go support the community, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm doing more classes now. Okay, I'm doing more classes now because I'm giving back to the community, but I've also learned that it's a great way for me to market my product directly to the people that are going to be future professionals that are going to love it. I don't think they're going to, I know they're going to love it. It's a great product. All I have to do is put it in their hands. Just here, just use it. Okay. Watch a couple of my videos, play with it, use it. It's simple. Spray it, play. Just play with the hair. You can't lose, right? And now, a few months later, oh, hey, I'm licensed. I got into a little studio salon. How do I get pump powder? Well, matter of fact, you can get it right here. I'll mail it straight to your house. You know what I mean? And I'm so aggressive with my tactics, bro. I don't know if I should be saying this on the line, but oh well. So I'm so aggressive with my tactics, right? Like if I go to a school and there's 20 students, I just give out 20 bottles. If I go to a school and there's 80 students, I give out 80 bottles. If there's 100, I'm giving out 100, right? Because from the clients that we've used it on personally, bro, we have like a 90 to 95% hit rate, which everybody loves it, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, the people who don't like it are probably because their skill level as a professional hasn't been raised to a level where they really understand how to use it. But it's okay. I get a couple tags and a couple posts out of it. It's okay. It keeps the buzz alive, right? So that keeps the buzz alive on social media. Plus, an awesome thing is like another part of marketing that I do is I do a weekly and monthly giveaway, right? So all you got to do is tag it, okay? Use the pump powder, do a dope video, tag our company. I'll send you a free bottle. I pay for the shipping too. I don't care. But bro, every week I got like 80, 90 people posting about pump powder, pump powder, pump powder, pump powder. It's going like bananas. You know what I mean? And it was just all part of like, you know, I'm playing chess. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing chess, and eventually we're gonna get to where we want. But what we've been doing it's been working well, and it's like people are having fun. People are having fun. People are making money. Um, and I think, especially for the students, like, dude, did you get anything in hair school besides like a keychain or a sticker? Sometimes candy, like a little kid.
Apprenticeship
You know?
for me, so I didn't even have.
Yeah, you know. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
bro, like,
because you're empowering too, man. Like you're selling and you're planting that seed, but you're empowering. Like you're giving these people a method through your education and through your products to have a system that works for them. So like, yes, you're selling, but at the same time, like they're gaining value from that too, and I think that's really cool.
hell yeah, everybody's gonna
Um,
win.
so with your business running the barbershop as things pick up, how are you balancing that?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have a great answer for that. Um, I think, to be honest, I probably work on an unhealthy level to most people, but it's okay. I actually I enjoy working hard. I enjoy pushing myself, you know, because the last thing I want to do is you know a big issue I've had as a business owner is, oh boy, the excuses I hear, bro. The excuses I hear of why you didn't show up to work, why you were late, why you need more vacation time, why you were so stressed you couldn't come to work, right? And you know why you can't take an extra appointment, why you can't stay late or come early. Like, bro, I'm the boss. I was here at 7 in the morning today, and except for the clients that canceled, I had two clients at 7:30 and 8:30. I went and did a barber battle. We're doing this call here, and then tomorrow I got to do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I like to set the pace really high, and I like to set standards for myself very high. So when I speak to people in regards to business, they can never tell me I don't do enough or I don't do, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be the one not working hard or not having a rap sheet to show you what I've done and expect the same amount of work out of you. I only expect like 70%, you know? That's all I need is 70%. 70% of your work ethic, you don't got to match mine. Just give me 70%. That's all I need. But it's hard to get people to 50, 60 sometimes, you know? And just, I feel like working hard, in my mind, I'm hoping that it shows them that it's okay to be tired, but it's even better to be motivated. That's how you get things done. You know what I mean? Um, but hopefully in this next year or two, bro, I can kind of chill because things have been, it's been good, but it gets kind of crazy sometimes, you know, with scheduling. So
Most of. And I appreciate the transparency because naturally having two businesses and one that's really picking up and another that you have to be, you know, in a certain spot for. That's tough. And
Yeah.
it's very balanced, and you'll continue to find ways to do that.
Yeah.
So kind of wrap up my final question.
Of course.
What does the future look like for you and for Pump Powder? And then plug for people that want to purchase this, check out the product, where they can go to do that.
So, so the future, first of all, I know this sounds crazy, but you know, I think I told this a long time ago that like I'm trying to get on a level so big that we're as big and as well known as Elegance. Is that going to take some work? Hell yeah, it is. But I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Because it needs to be done. So, you know, I'm hoping to get the right people on the team, get the right squad going, get like-minded people that understand the vision I'm trying to build, and that are willing to just follow my lead. Just follow my lead, and we'll be somewhere great. It's not easy, you know, but it'll happen. Um, as far as ordering the product, I mean, all you got to do is just hit up at Pump Powder, one word. On Instagram, just DM. Professional pricing is super affordable. The retail price is 15 a bottle, which is very, very good as far as competitive pricing with most shops and products. You know what I mean? 15 bucks for a client, it's not breaking the bank, you know, especially for a great product. If you order less than 20 bottles, then you just got to pay $5 flat rate shipping. 20 bottles or more, I'll ship it for free. Simple.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you, King C. James, I really appreciate it, man. There was
Yeah.
a ton of great information here and a ton of stuff that I'm gonna internalize myself when I go back through this stuff and utilize. I'll be seeing you this weekend at CT.
Hell yeah, you will.
Super excited. We're gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for jumping on with me here,
Hey,
bro.
hold on before we go.
Yeah. Do we get the 2-day?
Look what your boy just got in. Look. So this is his product. This is his product. Okay. It's a vest. It's a vest you can wear. A rig that's got all your stuff right here. Everything's.
We're gonna
right
have
here.
to have you in it this weekend, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, I'll bring it, bro. I'll bring it. I'll rock it. Yeah. This is dope.
Get a picture.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do what I can to get the people out in Utah on this for you, bro. Support you as much as I can. And yeah, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the interview, and I hope anybody who watches learns something, man.
Most definitely, bro. We'll be talking soon. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, my brother.